The Trump administration has announced that it's going to lower wages for H-2A visa workers and also let farmers charge them for housing. So if you're not familiar with H-2A visas, it's basically already indentured fucking servitude. You allow these migrants to come up from Mexico for the season, farm your land, and then kick them to the dirt. There have been hundreds of reports about conditions being inhumane already. And now they're going to allow these to charge them housing after lowering their wages. This is what they want. They want fucking slavery. There's nothing more to it. They don't want to allow immigrants to come here and find work and find the American fucking dream. No. They want them to come and be slaves. They don't give a fuck about the American farm worker. No. They want the cheapest fucking bottom line, and they will do anything to fucking get it. Wake up, Americans. All power to the people.
Just read this morning that Texas farmers are closing down because they can't find laborers to work their fields. Are you telling me white people won't work in the fields? Hey, all of you who thought they were taking your jobs, accepting applications now.
Farm labor crisis. We have a big news now, but I'm not making this up.
Farmers from across the valley meeting today searching for solutions as labor shortages continue to impact operations. One potential solution is a temporary visa program already used in other states. Dante Galeazzi with the Texas International Produce Association says the H-2A program may be the answer.
Even the local crews in Uvalde here are getting smaller and smaller, so H-2A is the future. Whether like it, love it or not, it's what we're going to have to learn to do.
With immigration's crackdowns tightening, the H-2A program could become a crucial path forward. Our Jorge Vela was at that meeting and has this report.
It's become a lot harder to try and get big groups of people. You can certainly find people, but it's just going to be a lot smaller groups. Instead of seeing a group of 80 or 100 people, you're going to see groups of 40 or 30. So it's kind of just the scaling is different.
Shortages in labor pools have forced Texas farmers to consider other options. Michael Davis from Tex-Mex Sales recognizes the H-2A program, which brings in temporary foreign workers when U.S. workers aren't available, but calls it costly and complicated. And with harvest season fast approaching, there's growing concern.
The only problem is that the prices and all that stuff, I just don't see how it can work in an area where you're not getting much bang for your buck. So you're going to be paying out more and then you're going to be earning less. I don't see how it's going to work out in certain areas of the business.
One of the main reasons why farmers are hesitant to adopt H-2A is because they cannot afford the high wage rates. In Texas, that is over $15 per hour.
Even changing wage laws, can you imagine? To lower their pay. Oh my God. Because before I think they were getting some good money, but now they are even changing wage rule to lower their pay just to get them back into the field.
I believe it's $15.79 an hour. Plus, if you're in the H-2A program, you have to provide free housing. You have to provide free daily transportation. You have to provide free transportation weekly to the store, to the bank, etc. You have to pay all the costs to get the workers here and all the costs to send them home.
Drac says that while the program offers a reliable workforce, the cost can add up, potentially pushing our expenses to $25 or even $30 per worker. And that's a challenge as Texas has seen a spike from nearly zero H-2A workers a few years ago to over 13,000 today.
The solution is we need Congress to pause the wage rate till we can develop a replacement wage rate that's in line with the market.
While many farmers remain hesitant, others like Manis Caria and Hargill are embracing the change.
Last week I was in Florida and I have seen H-2A workers. They all say that when they are very happy with the productivity, the quality, and overall progress of the company and the employees. It is a good thing to go through the formalities and make everything clean, transparent.
Davis says he will continue looking into whether or not it's a good fit for his business.
I myself am going to research more, but hopefully, who knows in the future, we will see.
Working for you in Mission, I'm Jorge Vela.
These farmers are addressing the labor shortage due to ice raids.
So immigrants were stealing American jobs up until Americans actually had to do them? So the Trump administration has quietly lowered the price for H-2A visas, so farmers can bring migrant workers back to the country to work on farms. Why, you ask? Because America has spent the last year vilifying immigrants. But the second that labor disappears, the government is like, well, maybe we should think about bringing them back. Because, see, before the election, Americans swore up and down that immigrants were taking these jobs and an American would work on a farm and do this stuff. So where are the Americans at? Are they suddenly allergic to farm work? Migrants were pushed out, threatened with detention camps, and treated like criminals. So why should they come back just to pick crops? So I'm asking y'all, should migrants come back to work on the farms? Or should they stay away because America made it clear they ain't safe here?
Guys, I was wrong and I can admit that. When people were saying that mass deportations would greatly affect farmers, I didn't actually think they were serious. They said that Americans were unwilling to do the jobs that immigrants do. And I didn't believe them. But this new video that I just saw proved me wrong.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
I went ahead and found the job listing. She's offering $2,000 to $3,000 a month for full-time manual labor on a farm.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
One, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
This woman had $200,000 lying around that she could have used to pay some strapping young Idaho corn-fed boys to do the manual labor on her farm, but instead built temporary housing for visa workers. I never thought I'd live to see the day where liberal media was telling people, are you unwilling to pay Americans a fair and decent living wage for hard manual labor? Just import a bunch of people to do it for way cheaper and then put them in a house and they can't go anywhere else because what other option do they have? Man, I feel like there's a term for that, but it's just slipping my mind.
Did you know that one industry is almost 100% relying on foreign labor? I'm talking about the agriculture industry. Employers are desperately seeking workers, and there's a special visa just for that. That visa is called H-2A. It's a seasonal visa that allows workers to enter the United States, work on a farm, or any related agricultural job. Typical season lasts about 10 months, and these visas can be renewed 3 times. If you're an employer seeking to fill these jobs, now is the time to do it. If you're an employee looking to join this industry, it's a great way to get a US visa, even if you don't have education or too much skills. Questions? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the farm.
It's Joe from Georgia. So this is news out of Texas. But folks, these are alarm bells ringing for the entire United States. And our government is not listening. Overnight, multiple farms in the state of Texas completely shut down. And the reason for this shutdown was because they have lost almost 100% of their workforce. Now, we know this is the result of the immigration raids and stricter enforcement, but the ripple effect is going to be felt all the way across this country. Now, you've got crops that are rotting in the fields. You have livestock that is not being attended to at all. And that takes a lot of personnel. And we're talking, so now we're getting every area of food to include meat. And the communities that surround these farms, those businesses and those people who depend on the income from these farms, it's creating disasters for small communities in Texas. Now, this is not stopping at Texas farms. This is going to end up all the way across America, especially in the breadbasket, the middle of the nation, because they have tons of immigrant help. But folks, the alarm bells are ringing your food on your plate is being affected. So you got to think about it. It won't be soon until either prices go ridiculously high or you just won't have any food to buy.
At the start of his term, Donald Trump deported a huge number of migrant workers. But now, American farms are facing a massive labor shortage.
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration is now turning to migrant farm workers to address farm labor shortages, according to the New York Times. No, I'm not making this up. After conducting mass deportation of said migrant farm workers at the beginning of his second term, they're now trying to get them back, essentially. So the Trump administration is now turning to an alternative source, making it cheaper for farmers to hire immigrant farm workers on temporary visas. These changes specifically impact the H-2A visa program. And under the new changes, the Trump administration, has now adjusted how wages paid to H-2A farm workers are calculated, essentially lowering the hourly rates anywhere from $1 to $7 in some states. And farm owners can now include housing as part of the compensation package provided to guest farm workers. They're reducing wages of farm workers in an effort to try to hire more migrant farm workers. That's brought a lawsuit from the Farm Workers of America saying that essentially it adversely harms American farm workers by lowering their wages or pushing them out of the labor pool entirely. But it is stunning that after trying to deport undocumented immigrants, farm workers, the Trump administration is now trying to rely on migrant farm workers to conduct the job due to the labor shortages. Spread the word, follow for more.
His administration is scrambling to make it cheaper and easier for farmers to bring back the immigrant workers on a temporary visa. Do you think that they will come back? ICE deported them in a bad way, you know?
ACT just announced a new visa to bring migrant workers into farms. 3-year visas tied to rural employers. The workers can't leave the sector. They don't like the conditions. Their options are to put up with it or go home. We have 163,000 people unemployed right now. 1 in 8 workers can't find a job or can't get enough hours. The government is sanctioning beneficiaries, cutting teens off JobSeeker and telling unemployed Kiwis to try harder. But at the same time, their coalition partners...
And I'm wondering, there is no whites who are willing to work at the farm because Donald deported this guy. They say that American doesn't have jobs, so they wanted only Americans to remain and work at the farms. Now,
well, Donald Trump is trying to get those immigrants to come back to the United States. You know all those farm workers that he's been deporting? Apparently it caused a labor shortage because we can't get enough Americans to get off their lazy ass to go out in the field and pick those veggies. So he changed the rules according to the New York Times and is offering temporary visas for those farm workers to come back and work. But they only have to pay them as low as $1 an hour in some states. And part of their compensation can be room and board. And he's offering it for those that has maids too. They can literally have people working in their field and in their house, and their whole compensation is giving them a place to sleep and some food. Kind of weird, ain't it? It's such a bad thing that the Farm Workers of America are suing his ass because they're saying that it's going to cut into their salary. And those are American people, actually, that runs farming equipment and stuff for farmers that aren't lazy. Does that sound like a fucking deal?
honestly stunning. First, they deported them. Desperately, they need them back to the farm to save them.
Hi, we have news. Trump is looking to recruit immigrant farm workers because we have a shortage of workers on farms. So yes, he's looking to, yes, I can't make this up. This is really real life. Apparently they deported so many farm workers that they're now reaching out to migrant farm workers.
So Texas is having a farming crisis because multiple farmers have had to shut their doors because their workforce virtually disappeared overnight. This, of course, is due to immigration enforcement and many people either being deported or too scared to come to work or fleeing the state where enforcement agents are. What people may not realize is that the United States, our entire food chain is built off redundancy. We have multiple farmers growing the same foods. We have multiple farmers raising the same cattle to produce more food than we actually need. Much of our food gets wasted. If too many farms close, we lose that redundancy. We potentially lose our ability to keep up with the need of food for everyone. So playing around with undocumented workers like this that are literally keeping the United States afloat seems like a really bad decision. But I also want you to consider that the country was literally built on immigration. If it wasn't for the Chinese and the Irish immigrants that came here, we never would have had a transcontinental railroad. We never would have been brought into the industrial age. If it wasn't for the current rise of immigrants coming to the U.S., our birth rates would have plummeted already. We would have been in an age crisis because people aren't having babies in the United States. We can't afford it. So the literal country is built on the backs of people who were either forced to come here in the form of slavery or came here to flee a disabled government, which often was destabilized by the United States.
Texas farmers are closing down because they can't find labor workers. Remember, Donald deported these farmers.
Trump went on Fox News and basically said, we shouldn't have kicked the immigrants out. The farmers ain't got nobody. The inner city people ain't gonna do it, so we need to bring them back.
Sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on. So we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that.
Damn right the people in the inner city ain't doing that work. He basically thought he was going to deport everybody and then we was going to go back in those fields. What the hell this man was thinking? Those days is over and they ain't coming back. Now he want to think about bringing the immigrants back because farmers are struggling. You should have thought about that beforehand. You already knew these people wasn't going to survive because you took away they people to help run their shit. Now he doubling down and he want them to come back legally. Man, get the fuck out of here.
80% of farmers voted for Donald Trump. Now they are crying. No one working at the farm. The crops are getting rotten. No one to pick up the crops, which is already there, ready for harvesting.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.